right, man. Detroit Piston plans might have changed. All right. Um, Boston Celtics. Um, Jason Tatum going down. Most people think they're gonna blow it up. I think they got a good basketball team still. I think they're still gonna make it to the finals without them. But right then and there, Cleveland was frauds, which we already knew that. They wasn't serious championship contenders. I don't want to watch basketball if I could have told you that. You can say Garland was hurt last year. It's always somebody fucking hurt with them small guards. Um, the Knicks, I don't know if the Knicks gonna be able to keep that salary cap together. I think Bridges got to get paid, and they just top heavy. So now most people feel like you right there with the Knicks. Orlando, I feel like if they get a true point guard or facilitator, they might be a problem. But when you start kind of looking, Charlotte never really developed. Chicago, they kind of, you know what I'm saying? So you start looking at the team. Milwaukee, we already knew they was at the end of the road. Boston might be on a hiatus for a minute. They may not be as dominant as they was. So that's two teams. That's top of the teams that's moving on. The Knicks, most people feel like the Pistons, they're better than the Knicks. If they're healthy, they would have won that series. The Pacers are really, really good, a good team. So really, you can really competing with Indiana, Orlando. Eventually, I think if they healthy, so those are really the teams that you really there. And if New York, New York, Indiana, Orlando, Eastern Conference is having some turnover. But let's talk about it. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Do people feel like the Pistons should mash the gas? I feel like you should mash the gas if you got an opportunity to get a guy that can change your franchise. As simple as that. Take out where the East is right now. You know what I'm saying? If you got a guy that changes your franchise, he's available in the NBA via trade, via free agency, you do that. If you feel like hitting singles and doubles, or hitting singles and doubles is the way to go, then cool. You got Bobby Portis, you got Nas Reed, you got Karis LeVert, you got guys like Cam Thomas, guys like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's guys on the trade market, but if you trying to make a splash, excuse me, they want to start like being windy. Shit. Sorry, if you want guys that's gonna make a splash. Ja Morant, Trae Young, Devin Booker, Zion Williamson. Some other guys may be available, like what's the brother's name? Draymond Green. Some of these other dudes may seriously be available for you to be able to go out there and get. So, I feel like if you can get a name and he fits what you want and you can get him, Giannis Antetokounmpo. That shit get on my nerves now. If you're able to go ahead and get guys like that, then yeah, I just feel like that's a once in a lifetime type of thing. But I also do believe in, guess what? If I can, y'all gonna kill me. I keep saying, if I can move for a Kelly Olynyk, a guy that can shoot it, I can get a Bobby Portis or a Nas Reed. You know what I'm saying? If I can hit those points and then bank on my guys developing, I have no issue with that. People see a clear path and think because it's a clear path, you should go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't or you shouldn't. What I'm saying, the absolute time you absolutely go for it, when you have an opportunity to land a guy that's one of the top 10, 20, 25 players in the league and they're available to get. When you get that opportunity to land those type of players, you land them. You try to land them. So when you start talking about a guy like Trae Young, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, you start talking about getting some of these guys, Ja Morant, and they fit. And I'm not saying all these guys fit what the Pistons want. I'm just saying that doesn't happen a lot. You kind of see what I'm saying? That doesn't happen. So you're not doing it because, we can take over the East and be dominant. We young, and you doing it because it's rarely available. This rarely happens to you. And on top of that, you have the assets, and then you have guys that come in the comment section who don't know nothing about that. Your guys don't have anything, and then like, what are you talking about? They got Ivy, they got Hollins, they got Assar. You know what I'm saying? They have a number. You got guys very value Isaiah Stewart. You know what I'm saying? They have a number of guys that, for this turnaround. Tobias Harris contract is expiring. So they have a number of things that they really can trade, and they have all their draft picks passed other than this draft that went to Houston. For Houston finally got their pick. It's like it's both ours, you know what I'm saying? But The Pistons have the assets at their disposal, and you can play it all right, you can play it all wrong. Or you can just keep it moving. Really, the only time will reveal what was the right thing to do. So I'm saying, like, I hear what Valenti say, oh, you need to do this, and like, you don't have to do anything. You could bank on the development of your players this summer. You could bank on health. And that's what the Lions doing. That's the frugal thing to do. But the Pistons legit can bank on health and bank on development. They legit could. Ooh, if we had Isaiah Stewart, if we had Jay Ivey, if Schroeder got a little bit more time to acclimate, you legit can bank on that. You know what I'm saying? The Lions banking on injured players. I ain't just talking about, I broke my arm like a Meek Rob. No, dude's coming off. Hayden Hutchinson snapped his leg. Liam McNeil blew his ACL out. We two of your best pass rushers. They may not come back to form ever, or in this. I don't plan on you gonna see any elite versions of them this season. They're gonna be shells of themselves when they come back. I'm telling you that. And then the guys that you would be banking on to generate a pass rush, Anzarike, guy, injury history, going back to playing the Priority 3 technique this season. Makai Wingo got injured last year. Josh Pascal stay on the injury list. Bitch ass, what's that bitch ass nigga's name from New Orleans? Man, I can't stand him. Marcus Davenport, man, that nigga was born injured. The nigga came out the motherfucking womb with a rotator cuff tear. So once you start kind of look, it's a totally different thing. You know what I'm saying? So personally, I think they're going to go the conservative route, but I'll say this to Teresh Langdon. If you got an opportunity to get a guy that align with your values, that align with your chemistry in the locker room, and that do things that's a fit on the basketball floor, you can get them. You got to get them. You got to get them. You know what I'm saying? But if you just want to put plays together and keep building a solid unit and hope that another superstar rises out of the young guys, I'm with it too. That you can have both. So like literally, the way they team is set up, you legit can have both. You can keep Ivy, hope that he might turn into something. You can keep Asar, hope that he turn into something. Keep Ryan, hope he turn into something. Trade the other one or two, and it can happen. You can have both. But the thing about it is, you want to move the wrong guy. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's to me, it ain't an interesting position. You're in a position where you can do nothing. You're in a position where you can go get a guy or two. You're in a position where you can go get a guy free agency, trade for a big guy or a big man. You can do a lot of stuff. But I will say this, the East is starting to clear. Like, there's no dominant team in the East going to next year right now unless something happens. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. So if it was ever a time for them to add a guy, it's probably this summer, because a superstar guy, because they're available. You know what I'm saying? They're available. And one thing I say about it, Cade Cunningham makes a lot of this possible. Tobias Harris makes a lot of this possible, because they can shoot. They can do a lot of they can shoot. So the guy they bring in, like I said, I think I think unanimously we all agree damn near it's Devin Booker. Defend, shoot, post, 3-level scorer, finisher, team player, can run the point guard position, can post up, can get a bucket, can defend, can play off the ball. I think it's a great fit. Him and Cade will be an interesting backcourt, especially it's a direct, it's a direct opposite of what Cleveland is doing. Cleveland got two small guards in the backcourt who both love to have the ball in their hand, right? You look at New York, you got Jalen Brunson who just can get a bucket, and Josh Hart do the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? They're not the biggest backcourt, but you go to Detroit, you got Cade Cunningham. I can play without the ball. JB Bickerstaff showed that this season. I can play without the ball. I can catch and shoot. I can do other things. I can facilitate. At a guy like Booker, guess what? I can defend. I can facilitate. I don't need the ball. They will have one of the more unique backcourts in the league, in my opinion. We'd be light skinned at it, but they would have a unique backcourt. But hey, check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Hit the link in the description. Appreciate y'all. Peace.